look at my new straw. Do you see it? It's an octopus. Hi, I'm Sophia and I draw animals, and today we are doing a sketchbook spread. My first official sketchbook spread. I have done an accidental spread before in like Crayola marker. I'll show you actually. I did it as a warm-up in order to like keep myself feeling loose before a major drawing session. And I didn't realize that that was my first spread that I've ever done. So I kind of want to do over and do an official spread that's going to be to my liking and not just getting the wiggles out, you know? So this was a spread. It was a lot of shitty doodles of animals. I showed it before on my major sketchbook tour that I did, where I showed my spiral sketchbook that I did last year. So this next one I'm doing is my first official sketchbook spread, and it will be deliberate and not just me going crazy on a page. I'm also going to be implementing a 3-color method thing and a no sketch method. I've done a no sketch thing with paint pens before. I drew some loons and some beetles that were found in Animal Crossing that are obviously real beetles as well, but they were inspired by Animal Crossing. And I kind of want to do that again because it was very fun to let loose and not worry about a sketch being perfect and just let myself analyze shapes and get them down and process them and actually apply them to a drawing. So we're gonna do that again today. I'm trying to get better about studies, so this will be technically a color study as well as a subject study of whatever I choose in the next 5 minutes. Let's get into it. Okay, so the artist, let me fucking find their name. Damn, got a lot of followers. Okay, the artist is Gremren on TikTok. What they do when they're just kind of an art block, they draw tigers. They draw a lot of tigers. That's like their chosen animals. She chose a very, very dark color, a lighter color, and then a nice in-between shade. I tend to draw birds when I'm really stuck and having some sort of art block or whatever's. So we're gonna do shoebills because I have only drawn them once in the sketchbook, which is crazy because I tend to draw water birds, but I've clearly drawn a lot of egrets and herons in the sketchbook, so we're just gonna keep going with that theme. I don't know how this is gonna look. I am a little bit scared, but I think we're just gonna have to suck it up and do it. Guys, fun fact about shoebills. That is a not so fun fact. They're like 4 feet tall. I think some largest ones can reach like 5 feet tall, but they also fly. So they're 4 to 5 feet tall, can fly, are absolutely massive. They are predatory birds. And on top of that, they like emit this clicking sound that people tend to like compare to a machine gun. I might have to like insert clip because it's so cool and terrifying. Another thing I found out when trying to find a more fun fact than the ones I already knew is that their scientific name, motherfucker, get this, because it already looks like a dinosaur. The scientific name is Balaniceps rex. Are you joking? Are you joking? I'm actually dead because, oh, and then also some of the people also asks is shoebill a dinosaur? Is the shoebill friendly? Do shoebill birds still exist? Can shoebills fly? Can I have a shoebill as a pet? Can you touch a shoebill? Do shoebills mate for life? Which apparently they do not. Also, I've never been one to properly color, which is supposed to be in like, I think a lot shorter strokes than I am doing here. And I think I was trying to go for it to mimic like what direction the feathers went in. But I definitely lost the plot in the process of that. Luckily, the paint marker does lay down pretty opaque and like you barely see the difference. At the end, I kind of like the streakiness, so I guess it worked out. Now I'm just laying down the purple and kind of figuring out where shadows go because some areas were darker, and because there is no real room for midtones with this 3-color method, I was getting a little bit nervous because I rely on those kinds of things, those transition colors, a lot, and I definitely wanted to stray away from that. We're gonna do one shoebill stork because that was really fucking hard. I changed colors. These are my next set of colors, and I'm gonna do a raccoon. Now, my uncomfortably not fun fact for you for raccoons is that they can run up to 15 miles per hour, which like, these are Not that they're chasing you, but like imagine being chased by a raccoon. It's got teeth, it's got claws, and it can run 15 miles per hour. Not a fan of that. Anyway, I'm using this like seafoam color to do my base colors. I realized that my midtone is gonna be this orange, and raccoons look very, very similar to red pandas. But like, we're just gonna have to deal with it. Because I think that once all the colors are laid down, it does look like a raccoon and not a red panda. Because your eyes start adjusting to the colors as white, gray, and black. I don't know how else to explain that, but in my head, I think it still works. I'm just like really excited with how these are turning out so far. I had a lot of fun with the raccoons specifically because they're very round, and I think that the blue and orange with the kind of greeny blue as the base just like looks really good together, because we know how much I love green and orange. No surprise there. And once I start adding in these little flicky bits to make him even fluffier and even chunkier and fuzzier and cuter, I think I just really fell in love with this drawing, and I can't wait to do more raccoons. I think I definitely have to make like a little sticker pack or something. I want to show you that these are the two finished ones. It is a little raccoon and a shoebill stork. My girlfriend suggested I do a piping plover, so we're gonna do that. I'm gonna do this as my white color. All right, I think I'm gonna use these three. It's much more the little beachier sand palette. I think it'd be pretty cute. And the pose that I'm doing, I think will fit really nicely right here. So we're gonna do that right there. And because I'm doing this as a sort of challenge for myself, because I'm practicing values and working with colors that I don't usually pick up, like purples and pinks and stuff like that, I decided to not reuse colors. I think I actually managed to stay true to that. I don't think I used any colors twice across the drawings, which was really fun for me, and I thought that was reasonable considering there's like 60 markers in the pack that I'm using. And they have a really good shade range, and some of them do look similar. Like you'll see on my later drawing, I do use another yellow base, but it is a different yellow. I think I did a good job with that, and it made me feel pretty accomplished. And it was really fun to get to play with similar but still very different color palettes, because I do have two drawings next to each other that are using blue, but they use blue in very different ways. And I just thought that was really cool. And as far as the animal, this is a baby piping plover. The pose was so cute. It looks like it's sleeping in the picture, and I was just, oh, we were sold. I was also considering doing stilts, which I think I might do for myself and make a little print or something. It's kind of silly because their legs are super long. But this little plover, I really, really wanted to make sure I captured the fuzziness with the markers and the kind of speckles that it has in a bunch of different colors to blend in with the sand, because when they're babies, they're nesting near the shore, so they have to blend in with the ground because they have ground nests. There are no trees around. I wanted to capture that. I think I did a good job. I did also add like a tiny shadow, which I didn't do for the others, but I felt it was necessary because this one was kind of dug up in the sand and some grass and stuff, so you couldn't really see the feet, and I didn't know what I was looking for. So that's what we did with her. She's adorable. I definitely want to make this one into like a baby print or something, because I just can't get enough. It's definitely one of my favorites on this spread. Next up is the red ear slider, which is one of two pets that I wound up drawing during this spread. I actually kind of want to go back and fill in the gaps with maybe some smaller versions, which can be just an even bigger value study because I'm not getting caught up in details. We will see. That probably will be on my own time. But I went with primary colors, which I did Google to make sure that I wasn't wrong and lying to you about what are primary colors. But I think I should have gone with a darker blue, just because it was a little bit more translucent against the yellow, and some areas just come out kind of green, which is not what I wanted. I did still really, really like how it came out in the end. But now I'm just blocking in those darker shapes. It feels so wrong to color a turtle with blue, but it really starts to come together once the rest of the colors start getting laid down. And they have these really cool spirally patterns across the shell and their face and their limbs. And I thought it would be really cool to go in with both blue and red because they had some sort of little outline to them, and I don't know, I just think it worked out really well. I will say though, I did make a mistake because the shell was supposed to be yellow. Most of it was supposed to be yellow, and I did color the entire area in blue. I do wind up backtracking, but that's where I kind of accidentally mixed the colors and they came out kind of green. Although I will say, this red as the stripies, it's everything to me. I really, really like how that turned out. And surprisingly, this one that I was most concerned about and most uncomfortable with wound up being a crowd favorite. I posted a really quick clip of it on TikTok and everyone seems to love the turtle, so I guess he might just have to get his own print. Next up, I did a just generic tiger. It felt kind of like cheating to use orange with a tiger, but because I used it as my white color, I justified it. I didn't really have a species of tiger in mind with this one. I just kind of looked up tiger on Pinterest and found something that looked cute, but I won't lie, my after, like the before and after of it is just not cute. Like, I really wanted it to look like it was almost like smiling, but it definitely looked more like an angry snarl once the drawing was finished. And I did mess up quite a few times on this one. I did not have my whole heart invested in it, and you could tell because there was just not nearly the amount of care put into this one that I did into all the other pieces. I think because I just kind of bit off more than I can chew with the stripes, and then there's a lot of shapes that I'm not used to doing. I don't draw big cats very often, so and their proportions matter a lot when you draw them, so I just, like, it threw me off a little bit, and I kind of wish I had just not gotten so in my head about it, because I did, and I definitely don't care for it that much. Moving on. Remember how I said I didn't want to reuse colors? I think this is the only place where I reused a color. I wound up using red in this drawing because I think the blue and the green were too similar in value once I swatched them on, well, not even swatched them. Once I put them on the page, I was like, oh crap, you cannot tell the difference between those two colors. They look like too similar in value. So I wound up switching it out. And I didn't mean to use red, but I did. And so that kind of ruins the whole not using multiple colors, but I think it's, you win some, you lose some. This hair is not anything specific. There are multiple species of hair. I did not choose one. I just wanted the large ears and a side profile kind of thing going on. I love drawing their ears. That shape is so interesting to me. And this one in the reference did actually have a tear in the ear, so I thought that was pretty cool. Kind of badass. You know the drill. Also, apologies for not giving you more of the marker sound ASMR. I got it for a little bit in the beginning, but then I started listening to Hamilton. Well, I watched the show that's on Disney Plus, like the recorded, like original cast version of it, and I was singing very loudly, and I didn't have headphones on, so it was very loud in the background. So no marker ASMR for the back half of the video, unless you guys want to hear me really badly try to sing all the parts in nonstop. So that's what was going on there, why the sound was muted. But you'll see me now visually putting the red in the drawing. I do really like how this looked. I don't know what this color palette reminds me of, but it's something very specific. Next up is the Oriental Frill. I don't like calling it that, but I couldn't find another name. It's a breed of fancy pigeon. This is the second of the two pets that are on this spread. But it came out so well. I was originally not going to use any black or gray, but I wound up going with a really light gray, a darker gray, and then black as the three colors for this one. Just a classic Value City, no colors involved. I really like how it came out because the pigeon in the reference is black and white, and like a little bit of gray, obviously. But it was so cute and fluffy, and I really do love pigeons. Actually, fun fact, I have 2 pigeon nests in my house right now. Like, not in, but I have these little nooks, and I can hear them cooing. And I just got a clip of at least one of my pairs of rock doves or rock pigeons courting each other, and they look so healthy. It makes me so happy because I do leave out like bird food and stuff for all my birds, also the songbirds that terrorize my neighborhood because they're so loud. But I've been having a lot of fun watching them, and there are 2 very plump baby rock doves. And I think there might be another set on the way because there's 2 nests across from each other. But they feel so safe. It makes me so happy because they're literally one of my favorites. I think I have to devote an entire video to pigeons and doves. Maybe a series of pigeons and doves for Avian August. Who freaking knows? But I love pigeons and doves a lot. Next up are wall creepers. These are a last but not least kind of situation. I chose this bright yellow, this kind of orangey, goldeny brown color, and then that maroon burgundy color. I don't know what the fuck to call them. I always say like multiple just because I don't know. Don't ask me questions. This is a wall creeper. I chose them because they kind of stood out to me during my Pinterest board search that I was doing. Their wings kind of are reminiscent of butterflies and moths, how a lot of like butterflies and moths have wings that have leaf litter kind of colors and then a bright pop of color. Stop, because this is a new animal to me. I was googling some more like information about them, and apparently they're also called the butterfly of the cliffs. So literally what I was just saying, were they reminiscent of butterflies? It's actually a common thing people realize. Also, when I was doing my tiniest bit of research on them, I found that the red in the wing color is pretty much entirely hidden when the wings are closed, so you only get those flashes of color when they are in flight or when their wings are partially opened, which they only do when they're hopping around the cliffs. I think it's for balance. They're also insectivores, so they pretty much only eat bugs. That's all I got about those little birds. I definitely want to find more about them, but they're pretty elusive. They're very flighty, and they will take like super roundabout routes to get to the nest if they realize that they're being watched, so they're hard to observe. And as we're coming to a stop, I'm adding in the darkest color at the beak and some of the darker feathers, especially around the edges of the largest feathers, because it kind of does have 2 little rings of main feathers. And the wings look pretty small when they're in this position. I honestly think I probably should have made them a little bit bigger, but I just did my best to follow the feather pattern to make it as realistic as possible with the time I was doing, because by this time I'm kind of over drawing. I've been doing this, it's working my brain, working what skills I do have, and I'm building a new skill, so I was kind of just over it by this point. But it was still fun. I don't regret this. I definitely think I might do it in a smaller scale next time. I don't think 8 drawings within a few hours is the way to go for me. And here they are all finished. Hi, it's me again. What is up, dudes? It is a different day. I wound up drawing later into the night yesterday, which means that the lighting kind of got off after a while, and obviously I was like a little too beat up, and I hate the fluorescent lighting with all my heart, so yeah. I really fucking like them. These 3 were general. There's a wall creeper, a hare, a tiger, and then this is those fancy pigeons, not the actual fancy pigeons because that is a type of pigeon, a Schubel stork, a red ear slider, a little piping plover, and then a raccoon. Let me know what you think about these, because I think I'm already gonna make them into stickers. They're really cute to me. I really like these guys. I've been doing a lot with paint markers recently because I got a new pack, obviously, but if you guys like seeing me do paint marker stuff, please feel free to comment and let me know, because it's pretty fun. But if you're bored of it, don't worry, I'll move on. I have some more materials that I have to work through. I still have gouache and some silky crayons to work through, so we will be doing videos on those. But I think I might come back and do more of these 3-color animal drawing things as like a little series for myself, because it's really fun. Ooh, maybe I'll do this for Avian August or something. Another thing, I plan on participating in Cookie Dove's Avian August. I have never actually completed an art challenge before. I've tried Inktober like on and off for years, maybe a decade actually, and I don't think I've ever completed it. I really want to, and I'm just kind of excited. Number 1, filming opportunity. Number 2, actual completed challenge opportunity. Number 3, drawing every day for a month, because I kind of refuse to prep the drawings, which apparently a lot of artists do. They draw in advance, which I did not realize that, and that makes me feel a lot better about being overwhelmed by drawing every single day. But I want to draw every single day. That is the goal. So I think that's all I have for you. All right, my friends, you know the drill. Drink some water, take care of your mind, take your meds, and I will see you in the next video where we draw some more freaking animals. There's so many sounds happening right now, and a lot of them are birds. I also have pigeons nesting, so if you hear them, you hear them cooing, you know why. Bye.